Welcome to Conversations Live. For more than a decade, we've brought you the best in books, entertainment, celebrity interviews, and current events. When the movers and shakers of the world have something to say to you, they say it to us first. Now celebrating 17 years of broadcasting success, here's your host, Cyrus Webb.
And welcome back, everyone, to Conversations Live. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again, both for our radio audience and those tuning in online around the world. We're glad you all could be with us as well. As you guys know, a lot of things have had to change this year because of what we've been dealing with COVID-19, and that particularly is true when it comes to film festivals and also public events, where our next guest is here to talk to us about how the Queens Underground Film Festival is still going on this year virtually, also what you guys can expect, and of course, how you guys can be able to stay connected for the updates. We're excited to welcome Adrienne Whaley to our program today to talk to us not only about the backstory of the film festival, but also what's taking place between October 15th and 17th, and also how you guys can be a part of the virtual experience. Adrienne, thank you so much for the time. Really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you, Silas. This is much appreciated. Thank you.
I want to definitely give a shout-out to our mutual friend, Leonardo Sanderson, for introducing us. And of course, we're going to talk about this year's event. So I want to talk about, though, what's happening, of course, with the film festival, Adrienne. I mean, of course, like as I mentioned, a lot of things have been canceled, a lot of things have been postponed to 2021. Did you all automatically know that you wanted to make plans for somehow for people to still experience the film festival this year?
Yes, we did. We actually, from last October 2019, because we have submissions from an average of 12 countries, that was always an issue because obviously 12 countries or 11 cannot fly in for the festival. So that was always my concern. So we have planned on going live this October. So that was the good thing. Setting it up, however, is a lot more complicated than anticipated.
And I think, for a lot of people, they're trying to figure that aspect of it out, right, Adrienne, when it comes to, how do we do this? How do we make it happen? And we're going to get into how you guys have been able to do just that. So, Adrienne, let's go back a little bit. For those who are just now finding out about the Queens Underground Film Festival, when did the festival start and kind of what was the mission of it?
The festival started a couple of years ago. The mission, we are a nonprofit. We are Queens Center of the Arts, and it started out in a physical studio space to be a special ed school with an afternoon component for the community, which had all of the art. That did not work out, and a group of young people came in to rent the space to do it. I had never heard of one, but I'm like, sure, let's try it. And it turned out to be such a beautiful experience, and that helped us segue into nights of poetry, ciphers, open mic nights, and then we had jazz nights. Then I would rent out the space to other groups who did the same thing. And we still kept our sewing class and our sip and paint. The rent became ridiculous. We couldn't afford it because live events weren't bringing in that kind of money in our area. And a friend had suggested a film festival. And I said to myself, well, that makes sense. So that's how we got started with that. But nobody was able to help me figure out how to put one on. So that's when you go to Google and, Alexa, how do you put on a film festival for the very first time? And I spent a lot of time, and we were able to put on the first one, which was a 4-day festival.
I'm so glad you mentioned that because I tell people, this show would not be the same without Google University, right? I mean, I think everything, thankfully, Google is definitely our friend when it comes to a lot of things. But you mentioned a couple of things I want to go back to, Adrienne, because I think, what was so cool is that you wanted to be able to do something, provide a service. It's just finding out what that service is going to be, and you're able to transition into now when it comes to the film festival. Could you have imagined, though, that you would start to get the support that you've been able to get for it?
No. I will be completely honest, we still don't have a lot of support. I've been very fortunate with great family and friends. We are still looking for sponsors, and I hope by mentioning Google, they will become one. And we're small, so we're not able to get, we have not received grants and sponsors. So the support is coming from within my personal network of people that see the vision So we're still hopeful.
Right. And we know it's going to continue to grow and expand, and we hope conversations like this and helping to get the word out will definitely help with that too. One of the things I think you all are using, though, that we have taken advantage of, Adrienne, is social media. How has that played a role in you not only, of course, getting the word out about what's coming in October, but also about the film festival in general?
I have to say, people have been amazing. Our last February 2020 film festival was completely sold out. One reason is because we have, that's what I said too. Wow. First time ever. We have movie shorts, music, dance, and poetry videos, and web series episodes. Then we had live performers, and we also had vendors, because those are all the things that I did when we had the physical space. And I think I woke up, and I actually cried. I woke up one morning, I went on Instagram. Everyone was promoting the flyers. Word went around. It went viral. And I was also on Channel 2 News. Mm-hmm. And then newspapers, everyone started promoting, because in South Jamaica, Queens, this was the first where the help came from. The help really came from people around the world promoting the film festival.
Well, look, and I think that says a lot about word of mouth, but also support. I also love the fact that you talked about the grassroots support, right, Adrienne, and how it really does begin with your core group, and then it expands from there. So another thing you mentioned at the beginning of the segment is that the film festival now has become international in its scope. Is that something that you had imagined from the beginning, that you would be able to have, submissions or having support from around the globe?
Believe it or not, the name of it is the Queens Underground International Film Festival. That was the idea in my head. Did I think it would actually manifest? No, I didn't. And the minute we put it up on the platform, which is Film Freeway, where filmmakers submit, we literally started getting submissions from around the world. And that was a surprise, but it wasn't a shock. However, when we did the Black History Month Film Festival, and we got a different 12 countries submitting, that was a shock.
So, we talked about at the beginning, of course, a lot of us had different expectations of 2020. At the end of 2019, even January, February, it was so funny, or not, Adrienne, March, I was actually supposed to be headed to New York. I traveled with my TV show, and I was supposed to be covering a movie premiere with a filmmaker there in New York, Antoine Allen, his film Lola. And then that's when the shutdown started. And so, of course, the world kind of started changing for everyone in March. So I'm curious about the timeline. When did you know for this year, for this year's event, that it was going, if you all were going to be able to move forward, that you were going to have to be able to look at all aspects of making it virtual and really utilizing that opportunity?
Well, we had the February Film Festival, and then the world, as you said, shut down in March. So it was at that point we still had half hope that maybe it would open up again by October. And I think maybe last month it became, because I called around, because I called movie theaters, I called a whole bunch of venues. And when it became fact that it could only be virtual, that kind of did send me into a bit of a panic, because I was hoping we would still have an audience in person to help pay for all of this stuff. But here we are. Now we have a customized live platform. So that's the stress, because, that's the technology that we had. Because Zoom, I'm not sure that's appropriate for our type of film festival. So we had to get something, customized. So that is where the challenge is. But we will have all of the judges, HBO. We have 6 executives from HBO and various movie studios who will be here. We have the comedian Kareem Green, who is intelligently funny. He is very funny, but he's also very intelligent. He will be the host. We still have the red carpet. We still have about 2 live performances each day. So what will happen is the audience will see us in the judges' chamber, right? And they'll be able to, some audience members may be able to chat, and they'll be able to watch the films along with us. and hear the judges' comments. That's what
Well,
I'm saying too. Wow.
yeah. Well, the reason why that's exciting for me, though, Adrienne, is because, I mean, it has such an opportunity then to have such a global reach, right? I mean, and to really kind of feel like the world is able to watch the process. Is that kind of how it feels for you?
It does. I definitely, I'm an artist myself, and I come from a family of creatives, so I'm used to rolling up your sleeves and grassroots stuff. With the technological piece, it's even more so. So I'm excited. Oh, plus the audience can vote for their fan favorite. They'll be able to log on and actually vote. So this one is exciting because it's only virtual, but we were able to figure out how to still, on our end, have the same exact film festival. You know, it's just that we won't have people sitting in the audience.
So I have to ask you this. I was having a great conversation with an event planner today who's literally had to redo her entire business model, Adrienne, because of what's happened this year and the uncertainty moving forward, where now she has a virtual aspect. You know, she had never thought about doing virtual events. Now she's literally booking events around the country from my home state here of Mississippi, where she was before just doing all just, you know, in-person, face-to-face events. Do you see this becoming a part of the Queens Underground International Film Festival moving forward, even in spite of us opening back up and things moving forward next year?
I do, because, again, going back last October 2019, I had said it's a shame because we have a lot of filmmakers from Iran and India especially, and I know that they're not able to travel over. So I have planned on having a monitor in the theater so that the filmmakers could watch the film festival along with the audience. So, yes, having that virtual component now forever on will be a part of our model, even when we come back in person. And hopefully, we can't do it in 2021. Hopefully in 2022, the film festival is also designed to be mobile. I want to go down to D.C., and then we want to start heading across the country within that same. So the October one will be October 3 days in New York, and then we go on the road.
Okay. Again, those dates are October the 15th through the 17th for the Queens Underground International Film Festival. We're speaking today with Adrienne Whaley. We're talking to Adrienne not only about, of course, the changes they were able to make this year to make this a reality, but also what you all can be able to expect. So, Adrienne, how can our audience stay connected with the updates as well as find out more information about the schedule for this year?
Oh, thank you for asking. The website is Queens with an S, underground718.com. And on Instagram, we are at Film Festivals with an S, Queens Underground.
And for our podcast audience, we'll make sure that we link that for you guys so you guys can just click on it from the podcast to be able to go to those sites, both for the website but also for the Instagram follow as well. Again, everyone, Adrienne Whaley has been our guest. Adrienne, thank you so much for the time today. Congratulations on what you all were able to pull off to keep making this a reality for this year. And looking forward to having you back, Adrienne, to kind of catch us up on all the great things that happened with the Film Festival this year.
Well, thank you so much, Cyrus. And I would like to send you a guest pass to see the festival.
Nice.
So I'm going to do that.
Well, look, I appreciate that, and I will be glad to do a review also for our magazine as well, for Conversations Magazine. So definitely,
we would love that.
All right. Well, we consider it done. Looking forward to that for sure, and definitely looking forward to our next chat together, Adrienne. And we thank you, our audience, for tuning in to another great segment of Conversations Live. Until next time, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying, as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Live. Let's make it a great one.